You filming, Mirza?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of recapping here before we get into 2018 game planning. Okay, so this pyramid looks a little familiar, yeah?
Yeah.
Who can explain this pyramid?
End in mind.
Begin with the end in mind? Okay. Any deeper explanation? 7 habits of highly effective people. Okay, so Stephen, go ahead.
Your values determine your goals. So after you have your mission and then you get your goal, then by your goal you break it down weekly, from your weekly goal you break it down daily. So everything you do daily is reflecting your values.
Right, right. And Covey would say your values are exposed in your daily decisions, so have you spent much time identifying your values, going through your values? So in his little teachings, he says, listen, the values are at the very base of the pyramid of planning, at the pyramid of goal setting. It's your values, what's important to you, okay? Right above that layer are your goals. These can be long-term goals, these can be big dreams, okay? But your goals, what excites you. At the next level is weekly planning, okay? Okay, so I got my goals, I got my values, okay, what am I gonna do this week? Weekly planning, weekly execution. And then right above that is your daily planning, your daily execution, okay? So we're really gonna talk about this here, okay? We've spent some time, begin with the end in mind, talking about the values, but we're gonna spend some time talking about really how to put together a blueprint for the new year. Now, the document I gave you guys is a little different than I've ever done. Let me just tell you some of the ways I've planned over the years. So I got introduced to planning really at the age of 19. Like, well, what's your plan? You know, what's your plan for success? You know, somebody could ask. And you can start spewing stuff out of your mouth and say, well, my plan is, and then eventually as you stumble across your, you know, what you're trying to say, you could get called out and say, you don't really have a plan, do you? No, I don't. Okay, well, if you fail the plan, you plan to fail. I mean, I heard that when I was 19. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't plan to fail. Well, then plan. Plan something. It's that same, I like using this. I know Stephen Covey uses this all the time. Alice in Wonderland, she comes across the Cheshire Cat. She says, which path should I take? And the Cheshire Cat says, well, that depends where you want to go. Well, I'm not sure where I want to go. Well, then it doesn't matter what path you take then, does it? So if you're planning and you've got some goals, you start figuring out who to spend time with and how to really get on a certain path because you do care about the destination. You're not indifferent about the destination, okay? So probably the most professional level of goal setting I've ever had, a guy by the name of Ken Gutnick. I was a little frustrated. I think I went maybe 4 years I wasn't promoted to, I was an organizational consultant, and I couldn't hit that senior national consultant mark. And I'm kind of like, I'm just kind of not getting there. And so the analogy he gave me, he says, your goal should be things you just kind of, you reach on your tiptoes. If you gotta like jump at it, it's out of touch, it's out of reach. So you should be able to stretch. You're almost like grabbing a cookie from the top of a shelf or something like that as a kid. That's the picture he had. So then he introduced me to SMART goals. So who knows the acronym of SMART? Go ahead, Errol.
Specific, measurable,
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic,
timely.
and timely. So you'll hear a lot of smart people tell you to have SMART goals, okay? And I've done that. In the first year I did it, I hit senior national consultant. Now, it wasn't just because of the goals, but the goals really increased my probabilities of making it a reality. But I mean, I broke through that barrier, I got promoted, and I'm like, oh, SMART goals, SMART goals, SMART goals. And for years, I put a document in people's hands, and I'm like, okay, listen, here's the SMART goals I think you should have, and here's how you should play it, and just I kind of gave you the template, and then I'd ask you to kind of fill in the blanks. And the downside with that is I don't know if stretching like this is enough of a motivator to get you excited and make you bounce out of bed and be like Tigger bouncing out of bed. So what I've got here, I mean, I'm calling it FP of FP. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into this, but I'm calling it the 4 pillars of forward progress. I figured that's just kind of an easy little thing to remember. Like the 4 pillars, that's what I drew here. Nice little drawing, huh? Of forward progress. Kind of a little football term, but when I think forward progress, just like I'm getting ahead. I'm not flatlining, and I'm not going down. It's forward progress. I'm getting ahead. And so I've taken, in this little blueprint here, some of the smart stuff that I think is totally important, and I'm peppering this into things that aren't quite tippy-toe stuff. This is stuff you can jump out of. In fact, I want you to jump. I want the goals. I want whatever you're going to write down, I want this to be something that you look at and say, you know what? I am totally excited about this. Like, if this happens, like Mike jumping out of an airplane, if that's kind of a goal, and that just totally charges you up, you know it's probably a good goal. If it doesn't get your blood moving, if you're just kind of like, it's not good. It's not good enough. Okay, so the 4 areas, okay? 4 areas of this. And just keep this in mind. Here's the smart stuff. Here's the smart science associated with each pillar, okay? For each pillar, here's what it says. Ask yourself 3 questions, think about them, and put the pen to paper for each pillar. So the questions are really simple. Like what exactly are the goals? How am I going to achieve these goals? What is the plan? That's some of that smart stuff, like what and how. And of course, answer the most important question in each pillar, why? Why am I passionate about this goal? If you don't have a strong why, your what and how won't be that strong either. If you've got a super strong why, I'm telling you, the what and how, I mean, anybody that's ever done the 7 and 7s with me knows this to be true, because one of the questions I give the same answer every time. And I didn't really think about this, but every time I give the same answer. Okay, well, what's your advice for leadership promotion? So I think what most people do is they give the what or the how. Well, here's what you need to do to get a leadership promotion. Here's how you need to do it to get a leadership promotion. But to me, I'm like, the what and the how, it's kind of easy. I want to know why. Well, why should I get a leadership promotion? Do I get an increase of money? Are you doubling my pay rate? No. Okay, give me a better why then. Well, my why, my leadership promotion why, well, I wanted to be a senior national consultant. I like that. The people I met that had that title and that money and everything else, I'm like, yeah, I want that. Apparently to get that job, I got to be an OC. And apparently to get that job, I got to be a promoting owner. And to get the promoting owner job, I first got to become an owner. Well, to get the owner job, I got to be an assistant manager. And to get the assistant manager job, I got to be a leader. Well, now I've got my why. My leadership promotion's connected to this thing. I got a strong why. Well, now the what and the how, it really wasn't that difficult. I didn't bang my head against the wall trying to figure out the what and the how. I had a strong why. You got a strong why, you'll run through, you run through buses, you'll run over top of mountains, whatever you got to do. Okay, so each pillar, the what, the how, the why, put the paper to pen, think about it. That's the science, that's the smart stuff behind the 4 pillars. Now the 4 pillars, let's dive into this. So pillar number 1, okay, networking. I know in every office we hear about this. We talk about, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, okay? When it comes to relationships, we are greatly influenced, whether we like it or not, by those closest to us. The people closest to us influence our thinking, our self-esteem, and our decisions. So who are the people in my life that will help me level up if I invest more time with them? And are there people in my life that might be holding me back from reaching my true potential? But I want some thought in one of these pillars around just where you're investing or spending your time, like who? Like, I remember my first Tony Robbins seminar, okay? Like Tony, love Tony Robbins. I think I was 19 years old, and he talked about this for a good chunk of time. And he said, just imagine, okay? He says, just imagine, you're lucky enough that every Tuesday you have breakfast with Michael Jordan. Every Tuesday. Well, that'd be awesome. And then you have a dinner every Wednesday with Nelson Mandela. Okay? Well, that would be pretty cool, right? And then on Thursday, you and Bill Gates have an afternoon lunch. And then and he kept painting the picture of your calendar. And I can't remember all the 7 people that were on this calendar, but just imagine if these are the people that you're spending your time with. And he says, okay, now just imagine, regardless of the occupation you have, let's just say you're a janitor, how's this going to play out? Well, then most of us in the crowd were like, oh, you'll probably quit your job, maybe take on something different, but your wheels are going to be turning. And then, what if you're actually passionate about being a janitor? You'll probably go on to be the best janitor that LA has to offer. Maybe start your own janitorial franchise business, but you would get ahead because of who you're spending your time with. You're not gonna get squashed when you're spending time with that level of individual. So how can you find another circle of influence where you can level up? If the first time I heard this concept, I shouldn't say it, I heard it first at Tony Robbins. Maybe the next time I heard this concept, and articulated this way, the average of 5. You are the 5 you spend the most time with. I looked at the 5 I spent the most time with and I realized I'm about to start making less money. Because I was spending time with people that were, it was mostly people on my team that were making less money than me. Now, if I want to add any value to my team, I got to level up and spend time with people making way more money than me, so in turn I can pass that knowledge on to them. Okay, but how can I attack a networking goal for 2018? Okay, networking. Then number 2, and this is like that whole jumping out of a plane thing. Experiences. What experiences do I want to have this year? What experiences do I want to have in the next 10 years? Like, what really motivates me? Note that we're asking about experience, we're not asking about stuff. It's not what we're not saying, well, what do you want to buy? How much money do you want to make? No, figure out the experiences you want. We'll figure out the money aspect after. Figure out the experiences you want. It's an interesting way of kind of setting a goal rather than just making it so number based and so financial based. We're all seeking awesome experiences. Whether it's charitable experiences, whether it's just like doing something real nice for your family, going on a nice date. But start marking down the experiences that you want on maybe a little bucket list or something like that. Again, Mike jumped out of an airplane. I've always said, and maybe I got to put in my 2018 FP of FP, because I've never done it. I want to do it, I think. I think. But write down your experiences. This should be some rocket fuel for you guys. This is the stuff that should get you guys like really going here. Then on the 3rd pillar, let's talk about growth. What skills do I want to improve? What is my plan for personal growth? What skills can I sharpen to make myself more valuable to others? Growth, improvement. Can I? Okay? Can I stands for constant and never-ending improvement. I know lots of can I people in my life. That they're reinventing themselves always. Can I? Constant and never-ending improvement. What is your can I for 2018? Like, think about it. Some people would say, well, listen, I want to improve it. Like, in my salesmanship. We all have room to improve in our salesmanship. Like, me too. I could sharpen up my sales skills big time. How could that benefit me? Well, listen, if you can sell to a business owner or a retail customer or residential, do you not think that when you go deal with the clients, there's sales pitches happening with our clients? Mid-market opportunities, so I want to improve my salesmanship. That's a skill that's going to serve me well. Well, how about my recruiting skills? I want to get better at recruiting. I want to have a better eye for talent. I want to be able to attract a sharper candidate in 2018 than I did in 2017. Right? Public speaking skills, team building skills, team experience, things like coming up with great events for your crew to bond and gel. Like, there's not a shortage of skills you guys could kind of sit down and reflect and ponder on. But, what skills, again, look at that last question. What skills can I sharpen to make myself more valuable to others? If you are more valuable to others, this whole team building trick becomes easier. If you're not that valuable to other people, team building is a real big pain in the butt. Like, there are a lot of people that do not know how to build teams. I'm not just saying this, but like, just think of people that you meet every day that have that skill. I've got the skill of building a crew, building a volunteer army. Okay? Very few people have that talent or that skill. Okay? But if you're going to put that on there, like, listen, I want to be a really proficient team builder. Okay? I want to be a really proficient team builder. I mean, think that one through. And then again, come up with the what, the how, and the why. And then the last one, the fourth pillar we have here, is contributions. So what am I doing to contribute to the world inside and outside of work? How can I add value to others? How can I give back? Okay, so back to Tony Robbins, back to his mindset. He says, and maybe you guys have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Anybody heard of Maslow, right? He said the very bottom layer, here's my second pyramid of the day, okay? What's at the bottom layer of everybody's physical needs? Sorry, I just said it right there, my bad. Physical, right? I need a roof over my head, I need food and water. I mean, okay, so there's the bottom. Well, the very height, Tony Robbins says the very height is contribution. And he uses people that become very wealthy and they become really miserable. Why do you meet wealthy people that would be miserable? Well, they haven't met the need of contributing to their fellow human beings on the planet. Find somebody who's contributing, adding value to the planet, and you will find a very happy individual. Anybody boot you out of their business today, I'm willing to bet their contribution's a little low. You know, they're real mean to you, whatever else. I mean, people that are contributing and again adding value to others and that are needy, and you're serving these people, I'm telling you, that's a great way to set goals. Okay, forward progress. What are contributions? Again, what are the contributions you want to make this year? Some of you guys went to or in 2018, some of you guys went to the old folks home, like maybe that kind of kickstarted something, maybe the Boys and Girls Club, maybe kickstart something, maybe your Operation Smile. I know Adam Dorfman's a big animal lover, so him and some of his people donate time to like animal shelters. They've got salesmanship, why not go sell people in the local neighborhoods to adopt cats and dogs? So again, whatever you're passionate about, I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not be passionate about. I'm just saying that you have a need of contribution, of service. And what would that be? What's the what? What's the how? What's the why? So I'm hoping what everybody can do is you find some reflective time before the stroke of midnight on December 31st. Okay, you got some time to kind of think through this. You've got, I always like putting together a one-year game plan. I like a one-year game plan. Some people like to do a quarterly game. Oh, a year. A lot can change in a year, and it sure does in our business. You go from being a sales rep for somebody's company to all of a sudden being the CEO and president of your own business. I mean, that shift is a pretty big shift, and we see this happening all over the place. So I get it, a lot can happen in a year, but really, that's not that big of a shift. That's not that big of a shift. You went from team building in somebody else's company to team building in your own company. It's not that big of a shift. It's still all the same stuff. So I don't care if it's a 90-day game plan quarterly. I don't care if it's a 12-month thing. I just want to put together a killer game plan. I want to plan the attack and then attack the plan. That's the nemesis of if you fail the plan, you plan to fail. I don't like hearing all that negative stuff. I get it. But I like the nemesis of it. Plan the attack and then attack the plan. Like a good football team, let's plan the attack and now let's get out there and execute. And if it's planned well and you've looked at every angle, well then the execution part should be fairly automatic. Okay, so I wish everybody the best of luck in 2018. I know I plan on having a killer 2018. There's lots to look forward to. There's a whole world in front of us, and there's a whole bunch of opportunities in front of us. So, make it great. make it a great 2018. Put the pen to paper, get the reflective thoughts going on, and try this little FP of FP. Okay? That's all I have for you guys here today. That's it. That's all.